know that for my entire working life, I've been a professional investigator. Those of you that don't know me are about to find out about it. I remember one job not too very long ago, and in my life that's a long time ago. At any rate, got a call from an attorney from one of those big firms with, 18 names, and he said, I need you to do something for me. This is really important. You've got to get down to Pennsylvania Hospital now. You have to see our new client. He is really injured. He was shot. You got to take the preliminary information. You've got to do some client management. You got to keep the sharks at bay. That's the other attorneys that want to come and steal him. Okay? You got to do the investigation, and you got to do client family management. And I said, okay, when are you getting into this? Because I'm doing all the work so far. And they said, oh no, babe, you can handle it. Well, that basically means we're going to sit in our air-conditioned office, and we're going to make a lot of money, and you're going to go out and do everything else for us, okay? So I can handle this. I've done this before. But I found out the real reason. When I got down there, he had been shot. He had been shot in the face, and it was not a pretty sight. So I walk into a hospital room, and this man is covered with bandages because he don't have no eye, and no teeth, and no jaw. It's all gone. And somebody has shot him at close range with a pellet gun. And so there's little holes in his brain. And it's really only a matter of time until I have to watch Bobby die. And this hurts. I don't want to watch Bobby die. I don't know Bobby, but I'm about to. And I spend 24 days learning about Bobby. He is okay, amazingly, when I walk in. And he says to me, oh, I'm so glad you're here. I got a bunch of things for you to do before I tell you anything about the case. The first is, you got to keep them bitches away. And I said, I'm an investigator. He said, yeah, and the attorney told me you're going to keep them bitches away. Now I know why they're there and I'm in the hospital. Okay, I said, well, let's be specific. Which ones of those? And he said, well, there's the 3 mamas. They're the mamas of my 8 babies. But see, unfortunately, I had a couple of the babies at the same time by the different women. And see, that's not the problem. The problem is, they don't like my girlfriend. Okay, so now I am not a happy person. But I say, well, let's worry about the bitches later. Let's deal right now with the case. And I get enough information to find out why he was shot, how he was shot, and what I got to do with it. And I also know that he was never married to any of those mamas. And so the person responsible for him is his dad. So the first person I got to go see when I leave the hospital is Daddy. Well, unfortunately, Daddy spent 4 years in a prisoner of war camp in Vietnam. And Daddy has been traumatized, and he does not like to speak. So I have my hands full. I call the attorneys, and after I cuss them out a little bit, I say I'm doubling my fees, and they say okay, and I figure, okay, life is good. And I go with Dad every morning. I take him to the hospital, and unfortunately, we're watching Bob die. And during the day, I do the investigation. At night, I pick up Dad and I drop him back off. And he and I bond a little bit. We have a good relationship. I get a call from the hospital one day, and the call is, Bobby's dying, we have to pull the plug. And I'm not happy. I call the attorneys and I say, guys, it's time you stepped in here. And they said, oh no, you're doing a good job. Go right on home. Take care of it. I went up to the hospital, and we were in ICU, and I heard a lot of commotion behind the curtain. I wasn't sure what was going on. And I opened the curtain, and there is Dad sitting at the foot of the bed. And he's a really dignified gentleman who doesn't like to talk. He's got his cat in his lap. He's holding on to his self-sweat cat. And there are the 4 women standing around the bed on this time. There's Mama number 1 in his right arm, Mama number 2 in his right leg, Mama number 3 in his left leg, and the girlfriend in his left arm. And they're tugging at the body. They're trying to prove who loved each other more. And they are calling each other things like, bitch, he loved me more. No, he loved me more. No, I was sleeping with him the night your baby was born. And it's going on like that, and it's not nice. And this man is dying. We got to fix blood. And the doctor walks in and says, you've got 5 minutes, get them out of here. And I look over at Dad and I say, is it okay that we do this? And Dad says, sure, it's okay that we do this. I want you to pull the plug. So now I got to get rid of the whip. And I told them in my best school teacher voice, you got to get out of here. And nobody paid attention to me, but I don't think they paid attention in school anyway, so that didn't work. Well, they started pulling at the body. That was not a pretty sight either, because here's this body under nothing but a sheet. And the girlfriend gets one big arm pull, and she yanks with all her might. And don't you know, the body starts to roll off the girth. Oh, yeah. And who was standing next to her? That would be me. That would be me that had to run over and put my hands under the butt of the dying man, which was not my favorite thing to do at that particular moment, but, you know, a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do, so I kind of was standing there holding his butt, and then one of the girls decided she should faint, and then another of the girls decided she should scream, and it turned out to be this real big debacle, and I was not happy. And I let out with one big war whoop and told everybody to get the hell out of there, which fortunately they did. And the doctor came in and helped me put the body back on the bed. And I sat there with Dad after the women were out. We unplugged we watched them unplug Bobby from life support. And then I got up and walked out of the hospital together. And I took him home for one last time. And